Hey everyone, give me 1 second here. Let's see if I can get. Just want to thank everybody for coming out today. If you hadn't had time to check out the disclaimer, just please do so. Just want to kind of let it be known that all information given in this presentation should not be dependent on solely when making investment decisions. I am not a financial advisor. And by remaining on this call, you acknowledge and agree to the terms. I hope everybody can still see my screen, and let's get it rolling. So you're probably asking yourself, why are you here? I've been talking to a lot of people recently about life, goals, and their future. Where do they see themselves in the next year, the next 3 years, 5, and so on? This pandemic has affected all of us differently. But one thing that we've all been granted is a little bit more time. I took that extra time to catch up with friends, some new, some old, got on the phone, chopped it up, reminisced. But from these discussions, I also realized how many people were yearning and wanting something different. Another way of living, another job, another stream of revenue. The answers vary. But another thing I noticed is how this pandemic brought us closer to the ones that we love. Because either we were locked up with them or we were forced to spend more time. For me, I've seen my parents more times in the last few months than I've seen in the last few years, but I'm so grateful for it. And despite all the sickness, the deaths, the bad and the sad news, I've cherished this extra time and the closeness that it has granted me. That realization lit something very deep inside of me. And it's that freedom of time to spend with those that I care about, those that I truly love. But then there's that freedom of money as well. So I locked in. I locked in to get serious about my financial future because I wanted to spend more times with the ones that I love. To have that freedom of time, I knew I would have to get that freedom of money, the freedom of resources. And I think we speak a lot about generational wealth. I know I talk to a lot of people about the term, and I feel like the term has kind of been diluted a little bit with how much it's been thrown out there. But I believe right now, this terminology has been highlighted more than ever. We have been seeing and giving attention on the economic disparities in this country more than ever before. Most people believe you have to be young to create and develop this generational wealth. Generational wealth can be created no matter how old you are. And it's never too late to steer the ship in the right direction. Well, because you see, generation is about preparing for who or what comes next, whatever that looks like. And wealth is much more than money. Wealth is a holistic lifestyle. It's the first thing that must be maintained, sustained, and controlled when creating generational wealth. The well-being is your finances. So how do you begin this process of creating this generational wealth that I'm talking about? Throughout my studies and research, I have found and I see that it can be developed partially or wholly in the stock market. Are there other ways to grow your money? Of course there are. And I'll touch on a few of those later. But if you look at this chart of this 50-year chart of the Dow Jones Industrial, which is a benchmark consisting of 30 of the largest publicly traded companies, you will see that despite dips in certain economic times, overall, it has increased. So what does this tell me? I have an asset that will create and grow for me over time, and I will make money over time that I can either benefit personally from, or I can pass it along to somebody else, to my children. But you want to know who's invested in the stock market? It's the richest and the most powerful people in the world. Today, I'm going to discuss the stock market and how this asset can help you begin to change your life. But first, let me give you a little background about who I am and who you're learning from today. Well, my entrepreneurial spirit and love for business began from a very young age when I was selling lemonade, CD, and coffee and computer software on my front lawn at the age of 7. My love for business and making money grew as I did, And now I have been a part of founding, developing, and hands-on investing in over 10 businesses. This love for business, I realized, would only be cultivated if I took it seriously and really studied it. So I attended the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga and completed a dual degree in finance, investments, and communications. And when I went to college, I always told myself, you're preparing for your future. What you do today, what you do tomorrow in these 4 years will define the rest of your life. So for me, I figured the best way for me to truly have the best collegiate experience and to prepare myself for the real world at the same time was to get super involved. And one of the things that I got really involved in was a student-run fund called the Smile Fund, in which myself and a team of individuals managed $250,000, real money, on the stock market. We had a board of investors we had to report to. We had monthly stock pitches and oversight. It was a great learning experience and a process. And through that time, I worked my way up through my developmental stage from a junior analyst to one of the vice presidents. And during that time, I helped that fund grow from $250,000 to over $500,000 in just 3 years. And today, I still help out that fund as a consulting advisory board member and still help with the development of these students. My success with this fund led to me being selected as one of the 5 students to represent the university in a stock research challenge, in which we put over 700 hours individually into researching just one stock. And we actually became the first team in school history, and I was instrumental on that team, to become the Southeast Regional champions. And we still advise and still help out. I'm still very much helping out those students who get selected every year to represent the university. And now we have won our 5th year in a row this past year. My success with the fund and also with this regional championship helped me conclude my college career with one of my favorite achievements, which was being recognized as one of this John C. Stoffel Distinguished Scholars, which was given to only 6 students in the entire College of Business, regardless of your major. My experiences made me realize how much I love the creating and developing of businesses, finance, and truly the stock market. But overall, out of all those things, the thing that I love the most is helping people. So now my goal is to help each and every person I come into contact with and help them become an investor. See, my friends, people that I see all the time when they understand that I'm in finance, ask me questions about the markets all the time. They give me my buddy will call me up, and I've tried teaching close friends and family and answering their questions. But what I've realized is that the market's constant. It's always moving. It's always changing. So the knowledge has to always be updated as well. It's not so simple as 1, 2, 3. So I decided that to really help people, you can't just tell them a little bit or just answer a few questions. It actually begins with a mindset shift. That's how you become an investor. You have to change the way that you view the world. And if I have a saying that if you're a consumer, you should be an investor. So what exactly does that mean? It just means this, simply. If you're spending money on things, which every single one of us do, you should be investing in the companies that create these things that you and everyone else buys. You're giving your hard-earned dollars to these corporations, and billionaires are benefiting from it. So why aren't you as well? See, but this only begins and becomes natural as you train your mindset to see the world around you in a different light, to see the world around you as a business. Well, what exactly do you mean, Noble? Take it one step further. What do you mean as seeing the world as a business? Well, here's a perfect real life example for you as what do I mean of seeing the world as a business. One of my sister's old roommates and close family friend, Neoli, sent out this tweet on August 20th, and I saw it and I screenshotted it. Shout out to Neoli. She said, things that I haven't been able to find since March: whole wheat flour and Clorox wipes. So she made a note to herself that she hasn't been able to find Clorox wipes since March. What would 95% of us do if we were in this situation? We might get upset. We might go to another store. We might find another alternative wipe or something to use. But what would I do in that situation? What would an investor do? They would ask themselves, why haven't I been able to find clock swipes since March? Why haven't I been able to find it for so long? Well, it's a pandemic and everyone has been clean conscious. Everybody's cleaning everything. So what that tells me is that there is a bigger need in the market than there is supply. So we have a positive supply and demand issue. More people need Clorox wipes than Clorox is able to provide. So if Clorox is able to provide more wipes, they're always selling out. That's a positive thing. So now I'll take it one step further. What company makes these Clorox wipes? So I'll research Clorox, CLX, and I'll see how has this affected their stock price. Well, if Neoli back in March analyzed that Clorox was selling for $156 and they were sold out and she invested at that time, today or last week when I took the screenshot, Clorox was selling at $215 a share. So one share would have granted her a $60 gain just by paying attention to the world around her. So let me take this real life example and how I put this into action. What you're looking at right now is a ledger from my actual trading book. And this was back in May and back when Corona was still going on. And I was looking around and I was like I said earlier, talking to some friends on the phone. And I realized a lot of people were online shopping. I lived in a neighborhood. I used to see packages on the front steps of doors. I used to see the UPS truck arriving earlier, the FedEx truck dropping off late. So I'm realizing, hey, a lot of people are online shopping. UPS is primed for this. Even though that we're in a pandemic and people are losing jobs, there's unemployment going on left and right, the economy might not be as strong as we're used to seeing it. But guess what? UPS's business was built for this type of market. They're going to take advantage of this market. So I did a little bit more. So I made the observation. And before I made the investment, I did a little bit of research. I researched UPS's stock and I was comfortable with it. So I made the trade. I bought 4 shares of UPS stock at $100.68, which netted me $402.72. If you've had $402 in your checking account or in your savings account that you have not touched since May, I just want you to put a 1 in the group message. If you've had $400 in your savings account since May that you haven't touched, I want you to put a 1 in the group message. Well, UPS's stock today, or when I took the screenshot, was trading at $176. So that means this trade, I now have 4 shares of UPS that's valued at $176, which gave me a $303 profit from my initial capital invested, which is a 75.4% return on my investment. Now, I just want to ask you this question. Do you guys know of a bank that's paying you this savings rate? Do you all know of a real estate investment that is giving you this return during this time period? But the thing is, a lot of people understand that they can make money in the stock market. That's nothing new. We've always been aware of that. But it's the questions, it's the concerns, it's the fears, it's the misconceptions that we have that keep people from straying into the stock market. So I get a lot of questions when I tell people about investing in the stock market. I just want to address a few of them today and hit on them really quickly. The first one I get a lot is, how is the stock market different than Forex or Bitcoin? Well, let me break it down to you really quickly, really fast. Forex, that deals with foreign exchange rates and the currency markets, okay? Bitcoin, that's digital currency, cryptocurrencies, and alternative currencies. If you don't really understand those 2 things, you shouldn't really be investing in that market. Why do I say the stock market? Because the stock market is comprised of companies that we interact with, that we involve with on a daily basis. We already subconsciously partake and are investors in these companies. But now we just have to change our mindset a little bit, change the way that we view these companies, become aware, and change our opportunities, change our observations into investments, right? The next thing that I get a lot, and I just want to hit on one more point with the Forex and the Bitcoin. I've worked in the professional industry now for 2 years, and I have many clients. I work with investment firms all over the world who manage billions of dollars. And when I tell you that professional investment managers stay away from the Forex and cryptocurrency markets, a lot of them, billions of dollars of assets under management, they don't even touch or invest in these markets. There's probably a reason why that is. Now, is this a get-rich-quick scheme or a pyramid scheme? Absolutely not. Let me address this from now. That you will never be asked to sign anybody up. This is not a pyramid scheme. If you want to share this information, if you want to share this knowledge, then please do so out of the willingness, out of the spirit of helping somebody else. There's no residual income opportunities in this. And is this a get-rich-quick scheme? Are there ways to get rich quick in the stock market? Yes, there are. But I believe in my strategy, what I help people and what I teach people is long-term appreciating assets, things that take time to develop and grow as we create generational wealth. But there are quicker ways to do it and more advanced courses that I can touch on as well. The stock market is gambling, or I can lose money, Noble. You're absolutely right. You can lose money in anything that you can do. But this is the difference between stock market and gambling. If anybody has any favorite games that they like to play when they go to the casino, you can drop it in the chat. But for me, I'll just use blackjack as the example. We would go to the casino, we play blackjack. You put your money on the table, right? The dealer deals out the hand. Let's just say you lose, you bust. Right? The dealer takes that, let's just say $25 you put down, puts it in his pocket. That's what gambling it is. And you have to put another $25 on the table minimum, whatever the bid is, to play again. It's 0 or 100, win or loss. Okay? The stock market, though, goes up and down. It fluctuates. So let's just say you buy a company at $100 and you say to yourself, you know what? If it gets below 85, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to reevaluate. I'm going to assess and still see if I want this investment. Let's just say the stock hits 85. You can sell right then and just lose $15. $15 is a meal. But guess what? You gave yourself the opportunity for your money to grow. If you have discipline, you will be able to exit losing positions and hopefully they'll become profitable in the long run. But what if I don't have a lot of money to invest? That's fine. The beautiful thing about it is, let's just say you want to get invested in Amazon and they're selling at $3 a share, $3,000 a share, and you don't have $3,000. Well, if you invest $1,000 in Amazon, you can get something called partial shares. So they'll give you 1/3 of Amazon stock. You can still benefit from the rise and the gains that the stock receives, but you only own 1/3. And there's another way as well. You can invest in smaller companies. There are companies that are worth $50, or companies that are worth $100, or companies that are worth $20. I will not be promoting or preaching about penny stocks, things that are really, really cheap. That's not the course for this. But there are opportunities to make money in the stock market, and you do not need to have a lot of money to do it. You can literally get started with $5. And can I get my money out? Absolutely, at any time. The markets are closed for only 10 days throughout the year, not including the weekends. But also, we live in the greatest era of mankind because of one thing, and that is called technology. Technology has made buying and selling, it's made transactions, it's made these things almost seamless. So because of that, if I say, hey, I need some money for an unexpected expense, or I need some cash, or I want to sell this position, you can literally do it, and you can get your money out in 2 to 3 days once the trade settles. Or there are some brokerages that will even front you the money because they understood that you already sold the investment and you'll get it back. Again, we all had these misconceptions. We all had these fears when it comes to the markets, but that should not stop us because of the opportunity, the long-term growth opportunity. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So this is a company, Lululemon. I'm not sure if anybody in here is familiar with Lululemon, but Lululemon is an athleisure brand that's similar to Nike, Adidas, but they're a little bit higher end. And their main thing that they focus on is making gym clothes, but also clothes that you can wear to Target, to the store, to the mall, and still feel comfortable, look good in, right? Back in 2016, right here, I made an equity research report when I was a part of the Smile Fund, and I researched Lululemon. I had a price target at the time of $57.81. Oh no, excuse me. That's how much they were trading for, $57.81. I had a price target of $110.50. Based off of my research, I said this is a great growth company. I like what they're doing long term, and I believe that over time, this company's value is going to increase by more than double, okay? Well, today, Lululemon is trading at $356.29. Well, what if you had invested $500? What if you had taken $500 of that stimulus check, or that you're getting that $600 a week, or that $1,200, and you put that into Lululemon? Well, $500 of your money, let's just say Lululemon was trading at $50 at the time for round numbers, you would have gotten 10 shares of Lululemon. Those 10 shares today are now worth about $350, which means that your total holding value is $3,500, which is a $3,000 profit in 4 years, which is a 600% return on your investment, in 4 years. Now, let's just say you had $1,000. Well, that would have netted you $6,000. And if you had $10,000, well, that would have netted you $60,000. Well, I'll let my boy Rob Gronkowski kind of tell it to you guys.
Hey, my mom used to say, it must be maple syrup because butter don't drizzle like that.
Well, I'm going to say it must be the stock market because banks don't drizzle like that. Real estate doesn't drizzle in this time frame like that. So you know what? You guys can do this. Remember, if you are a consumer, you should be an investor. These are brands right here that we're looking at that everyone here recognizes. Every one of these brands, these are companies that we've all purchased from. So now we apply this mindset that I demonstrated before. We see the world as a business. You want a Louis bag, okay? You want a Louis bag? You want a new iPhone? Shoot, I do too. I'm sure we all want some things, but we're not the only ones who do. But you do some training, you do some research on these companies, and you see if it's a good buying opportunity. But overall, we understand the mission isn't to make millions overnight, but rather a long-term appreciating asset, okay? In the pandemic alone, the CEO and founder of Tesla, Elon Musk, while his company has been doing very well from a performance standpoint, his net worth has gone from 26 billion to over 70 billion in the pandemic alone. And that is because and solely due to his increase, his positions and his stock positions and the increase of Tesla stock. This is my mission, to begin helping you see the world around you in a different light and to start becoming an investor. So why exactly do I say the stock market? There are plethoras of reasons as to why I believe you should be invested in the stock market. You're here tonight because you want to find a way to achieve that freedom of time and money. That's why you're here. That money-making opportunity is there. It just takes a decision. It just takes a commitment. So besides making money, I'm sure we all love making money. So besides that part of the stock market, well, guess what? My family is from the West Indies. They have a deep sentimental value towards valuing things that you work hard for. So if I talk to them about investments, they talk to me about real estate. Why? Because it's ownership. Land is ownership. Well, owning stocks equals ownership too. When you buy a share, you are buying a part of a company. You literally, if you wanted to, you can cast votes on certain corporate decisions when the board members meet up if you really wanted to, because you're a part owner. And with ownership, it can be passed on. It can be gifted. It can be donated. Parents, you can pass this on to your kids. Boyfriends and girlfriends, you guys can give this to each other as Christmas gifts, right? But the one thing that I never understood as to why people avoid the stock market, you're already in the market to begin with. Think about this. If you work a full-time job and you have any of these right here, an IRA, a Roth, or a 401k, I'm not even going to tell you to put a number in the group chat if you have one of those. You are in the market. These retirement plans are invested in the stock market. Some guy named Joe in Milwaukee is investing your future in the stock market. So I'm not telling you to pull your retirement or spend your last savings dollar. I'm not telling you to do that. But what if you got involved in the decision-making process? So instead of Joe controlling your financial future, you make some decisions. You make some tangible actions on your own that will affect your future. Your money is already in the market. I take advantage of my company's match, right? Because of the 401k. So I suggest everybody in here, if your company matches 5%, do the full 5%. I take advantage of that because that's free money. But otherwise, I make my investment decisions because I want to help dictate my financial future. What industry has generated the most billionaires? Finance. Where does the world's top 1%, the elite, store their money? No, not banks. No, not Forex, but the stock market. If the richest and most powerful people in the world are invested in the markets, why aren't you? What if I told you I could help you truly learn how to invest, not just copy and paste or fall behind every expert's word, but be knowledgeable and confident in your own investments? Would you do what it takes? Actually, would you begin the process of creating generational wealth? Using my training platform, I'll begin helping you shift your mindset to start seeing the world around you in a different light, to start thinking like an investor, like the world's elite. If you're worried about losing money, don't be. Every successful person has lost money, failed a test, missed a shot. But it's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. I want to see you keep moving forward, and I know you do too. Through my various courses, you will budget, save, and create more wealth than you ever thought possible. The road to success begins by taking control of your finances. Everyone has a millionaire inside of them. Now it's up to you. If you're subscribed to 2 or more of the following services, I want you to put a 2 in the group message. If you're subscribed to 2 or more, I want you to put a 2 in the group message. How many of y'all are subscribed to something? It may be one of these things or something else that you barely even use. We all do it. I'm guilty of it too. I hold on to a Stars membership for a whole year just to watch 2 or 3 months of Power. But not only are these great companies to possibly think about investing in, and I've been a major fan of Netflix. I've been holding Disney for over 2 years, which owns Hulu. But you are able to afford my stock course. For the price of a Netflix and Apple Music subscription, you can begin to make the steps necessary to changing and taking control of your financial future. Take the money from a platform you are barely using anyway and put it towards your financial freedom. Noble Living Investment Course is a state-of-the-art training platform in which you'll begin learning and shifting your mindset. I've created a weekly 3-month curriculum where I dive into the basics of investing. And this course is for everybody. You can have zero knowledge or you could be one of the most experienced. But also, you have to, the first thing that I've always heard in success is you have to change your environment. Show me your company, I'll tell you who you are. You're the product of the 5 closest people to you. Well, how do I help that? Remember, this is a mindset shift. So it can't happen just weekly. It can't happen just monthly. It has to happen daily. So you get yourself in an investment community surrounded by other investors like yourself, other like-minded people who are trying to achieve the same things that you are, and watch how that affects how you see the world. I will be the main instructor, but I actually have a group of close friends who are experienced in the markets as well, who will help facilitate your growth over time. You'll have hands-on developmental guidance to answer any questions and help you psychologically weather through any storms that the market can be throwing at us, while we're always looking for opportunities. There's a saying, there's a bull market somewhere. That means while something is going down, there's always something that's going up. Our goal is to always find it, but it always begins with mindset. See, I was thinking about it the other day, and I was thinking, man, I've been in school for, the majority of my life. And we've been learning our entire lives. So learning is nothing new, but thinking like the elite, that's what's new. Following the smart money, that's what's new. But success leaves clues. You can follow success. If you follow the smart money, you can find what they're doing it and try to replicate it, try to duplicate it. And then finally, we'll keep you up to date with what's going on and what we think that the market is going to do next. And you will also make predictions of what the market's doing next. We get this live market analysis and we assist each other in our investment making decisions. But, I normally get asked follow-up questions, even when I say, hey, I can help you learn to invest in the stock market. Well, what if I don't have the money to invest, Noble, or it takes money to make money? I'm barely making ends meet. So how will I invest in the stock market? Well, through my other course offerings, I will help you address your concerns with that. With my personal finance mentorship, we'll begin to dive into your finances. You'll have access to budgeting and accounting templates to help you figure out your current spending habits. Where can adjustments be made that can get you better and financially secure? If you have a debt, we will work on a game plan to getting that paid off and reducing your student loans. And our goal is to help you save so then you can invest. Well, Noble, I'm making ends meet already. I'm already on a budget and I have no spare room of income. At that point, you need a secondary revenue stream. Everybody has a secondary revenue stream inside them. I've had at least 4 revenue streams coming in since about my freshman year in college, right? The other day I was on Netflix and I was watching this show and it was called the Get Home Edit or something. It's about these 2 girls that organize shelves and garages and closets for people. Well, guess what? My mom is OCD. To me, she is. She's super clean, keeps everything in straight lines, everything parallel. The home edit, this girl's show, I've been dealing with this my entire life. And when I watch this, I'm like, Mom, do you see this? These people are multi-millionaires by doing something that you already do. See, we already have the skills. We already have that asset. You do. It's unique to you. You just haven't figured out how to monetize it into a business yet. And I will help you do it. So instead of watching other people do the same thing that you do and make millions of dollars or thousands of dollars off of it, how about you do it as well? And finally, if you have some extra money to invest already, additionally to the stock market, we can help you collectively grow your money passively with my training. For myself personally, I'm involved in real estate, vending machines, and I'm also invested in other qualified businesses that help to deliver me passive income. So through these different course offerings, you will start being able to generate wealth and that you can now have the money and different avenues to achieve success. So how does this all work? Well, each package has a monthly subscription price. You have access to all the premium features, and the investment training course begins on November 9th. So we'll get started. You'll start your weekly course November 9th. This is all outlined on my website in further detail. If you have any questions on there, you can also find some frequently asked questions. And if you want to pair multiple packages together, discounts will be applied when upgrading or grouping multiple packages. You'll see the bundle pricing. And if you get 4 packages, that is a 55% savings, which brings down your cost to $11.25 a month per package. You cannot beat that, right? But finally, the first investment before the stock market before launching your business or trying to find other revenue streams, it all begins with yourself. You have to make the conscious and life-altering decision to invest in yourself. Invest in shifting your environment and invest in shifting your mentality. You have to be prepared to make this choice, and it has to be your first investment. See, my goal is to help people to invest in themselves and truly commit to becoming their best selves. And I've realized that while financial independence is very important, while wealth, legacy, growth, all of those things are instrumental and essential to life, it's so much more to it than money. As a result, alongside helping you take control of your financial future, I want to help you take control of your life. Be the best version of yourself in the stock market, your finances, your health, your belief in yourself, your confidence in yourself, while getting the enjoyment out of life. See, Noble Living is a full lifestyle brand made just for each and every one of you. Success does not discriminate. It doesn't care about gender, sex, race. It doesn't care about what you went through, the ups, the downs, the story. Success only wants one thing. It wants who wants it back. What if I told you you could achieve anything you would aspire for? Would you believe me? Rather, would you do what it's going to take to get there? Check out my website to view my other videos, the other courses that I have. Also, please sign up as well. If you're interested, if you have any other questions, follow me on my socials. I'll be free to answer anything that you guys will have. A lot of my questions are already answered in my frequently asked on my website, but I will field a few questions right now in the chat. So if you have any questions about anything that I said today, please, you can just drop some questions in the chat. But overall, I want to see you all take control of your future using Noble Living. Follow me on the socials. We'll tap in together. If you know somebody who is interested or could use this opportunity, I will be having another informational. I'll be putting out the information on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on when that is. If you know somebody who couldn't make it tonight, I will be able to get in contact with them to make sure that they have access to this. But thank you, and I hope I get to join each and every one of you on your investing experience. Thank you, guys. Have a great night. If you have any questions, I'll field some at this time inside the chat.